One of the greatest moments in wrestling history took place just this past Friday. There's a very good chance that when you listen to our last episode, you may have been watching. You may not. We will discuss that moment this week on WNA. Other developments over the last week? Thanos. And I don't know. That's pretty much all that's been on my mind. What about you, Cliff?
That's all I've been talking about for the last 4 days.
Do you have any reserves left in your tank?
Oh, no. I think I got rid of everything I ever had.
Yeah.
It's all on the back of somebody's neck.
That's something to leave in. That's a way to make friends in the movie theater.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, what is this?
What? It's love.
I get it.
You're good.
It's okay.
Good. Everything's fine now.
So, you know what was the greatest moment, right? I mean, don't say it yet.
I guess, of course, I know.
Okay, I just want to make sure, because we are going to get to it. But before we do, hit the intro.
Check your feelings at the door, because your boys are back. Whether it's happening in the ring or on the screen, you know they've got something to say about it. Are you ready? He's Robb English. He's Clifford L. Johnson. They are WNA.
That's right, goddammit. I'm Robb English.
I'm Clifford L. Johnson.
And we are WNA. Oh, shit.
For Avengers.
I done dropped my notes.
Oh, Lord. Not your notes.
Yeah, you like that? Got my notes.
Why do you have notes? I don't have notes.
Yeah, because I didn't send you an outline.
Because you're terrible.
I am. I'm a terrible human being. And you know what else?
Terrible producer of this show. That's what you are.
I don't give a shit.
Wow. That's why you speak all the time, and I get 8 sentences in.
That's right. We know who's the talent.
By design now.
We know who's the talent.
Figured it out, man.
That's right.
It's okay.
Yeah. What you drinking?
I'm drinking water.
Pussy.
Water. Agua. H2O.
Just, I'm drinking my drink. The milk
dragon
of the dragon.
Semen?
Yes, the milk of the dragon. Dragons love butter. That's what I like to call it.
That's right.
Just lather up and scrub down with it.
Oh yeah.
I went to a place for dinner over the weekend, and they had a new dragon's milk there that I tried, and I'm kind of irritated that I tried it when the weather was warming up, because I think had I drank it when it was like winter, it would have made a whole lot more sense.
Winter.
But it was like this dragon's milk with like a mocha mint, notes to it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can you mail beer to people?
Yeah, I'm sure you can. I got to get you some, don't I?
Oh, come on, LeBron.
Oh, in case you didn't know, Cliff's watching the game. We've been sitting here for the last 30 minutes waiting for him to get his man crush off the TV, but apparently it just went to overtime, so this could be a long show, guys.
Yep. Sure could. You're going to hear a lot of yelling and profanity in the background.
Well, I'm watching 205 Live. Cliff's watching the basketball game, so at some point there's going to be yelling. It may be me. It may be him. Maybe both of us. But you know what? You've come to expect that from WNA.
That's right, because we do what we want.
Speaking of which, yelling and screaming, you watched the Greatest Royal Rumble this past Friday, did you not?
I sure did.
I caught up when I got home from work. Cliff was telling me it was fantastic. What was the words you used?
I said that it was better than WrestleMania.
Yeah. Even my
Rob did
dad
not agree.
Even my dad was watching, and he was like, "Oh, this is a really good show." So I get home, and I'm expecting something great. Fuck you guys.
It was pretty awesome.
It was not.
It was too.
It was a decent show.
No, it was a good show.
But it was long as fuck.
Well, everything else that WWE does is long as shit, so.
I'm hearing a little sidebar here that they are now entering into what they're going to consider their Big Five pay-per-views. So
Big
it's still going to be,
Five.
yes, still going to be Mania, still going to be Rumble, still going to be Survivor Series, still going to be SummerSlam, but now Money in the Bank is one of their tentpole shows.
Uh-huh.
So all of those shows will be 4 hours plus.
Wow. And is Money in the Bank going to have a takeover as well?
Yes.
Oh.
And the other pay-per-views like Backlash, which is happening this Sunday,
Backlash
will be the traditional 3 hour with a hour pre-show.
Good.
So
Backlash.
I guess the other shows would be 6 hours because usually they do the 2 hour pre-shows on those, don't they?
Oh, jeez.
Can I
Gotta
just
stop
say,
acting like I care because I'm still going to
man.
watch this shit anyway.
True. But I do want to say, fuck you, WWE. Because Jesus, I know we're spending the money, but can you at least allow me to have a little time with my motherfucking family? Because
No.
we just had Mania and Takeover. 2 weeks later, we have this 6 hour Greatest Royal Rumble. A week later, we have another pay-per-view. So in 3 weeks, we've had what? 6, 7, 13. What's that? Almost 20 hours of pay-per-view alone?
Yep.
And that's not counting all your TV.
And Rumble was at noon on a Friday.
Oh, yeah. It's Saudi Arabia.
I'm actually glad that they did it live, though.
Yeah.
Because that's the one thing I think is cool about having the network now is that they don't have to worry about, pay-per-view restrictions and all that
Right.
stuff. Because they're like, the people who are going to watch it are going to watch it at some point on the network anyway.
Right.
So it doesn't matter if they watch it live or if they watch it taped or DVR'd or whatever, because they're still getting that $9.99 anyway. So
Right.
do it
Which is
live.
why I said it before and I'll say it again. Give the UK a Mania.
No, that's
Yeah. Yeah. Give them a Mania.
no.
Give them a Mania.
No.
Give them a Mania.
Unless they figure out how to do it at whatever the equivalent of time that would be 8 o'clock here or 6 o'clock here or whatever. Like, no.
I believe the UK
Mania is different. This Greatest Royal Rumble thing, that was like that was just a one-off or whatever. I guess they'll start doing it. What, they got like 5-year deal with them or something?
something like that, 5 or 3 years. There's going to be another Saudi Arabian pay-per-view in November.
In November?
In November.
Jeez.
So
They're
is
really
this
trying
one,
to get that Arab money, ain't they?
is this one going to be the greatest Survivor Series?
It must be. I
I want them to do another 50-man Rumble and call it the greatest ever Rumble.
Yeah, so will next year's Royal Rumble be called the Greatest Royal Rumble 2?
It'll be the greatest Royal Rumble.
The EST Royal Rumble?
ESD. So yeah, you really enjoyed the show. I thought it was okay. There were parts of it I really liked, but you said better than Mania, and I say you need Jesus.
Well, I have Jesus, actually. I just got baptized like 2 weeks
It's
ago.
true. It's true.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
You, my friend. Jesus.
That's a subject. Long been a interesting one in my life. Yes. Moving on. What were the memories that stuck out the most to you during the Greatest Royal Rumble pay-per-view?
Are we going to talk about the greatest memory?
We're going to get to that in a minute, but first I want to talk about.
Let's talk about everything else.
Yes.
Well, I thought most of the matches. So that was the thing that I didn't like about Mania was that I didn't feel like there were any really good matches, with the exception of the few that we discussed. Seeing it how it was such a long show and they had so many matches. It's just hard for me to think that they have so many people on their roster and yet they still have people that can't deliver good matches. I don't understand that, but that's neither here nor there. I thought the Greatest Royal Rumble had really good matches. I really liked the Cruiserweight title match. I'm glad they actually were able to be on the freaking show.
The game like 10 minutes.
Yeah, and they delivered. It was good from start to finish. The right man won. I thought, even though there was that one terrible, worst fucking botch of all time. The Phantom Whisper in the Wind.
Whisper in the Wind.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
That's the thing that they should be replaying over and over again.
Yeah.
Is that.
So, non-wrestling fans, to paint the picture for you, we've discussed Jinder Mahal many a time and his aggressive nipples. Please Google him if you haven't.
Hey, his nipples are starting to look slightly less aggressive.
Because I believe Jinder's cycling off.
Probably cycling off. All right, cool. Continue.
Jeff Hardy, his opponent this evening, the perpetually stuck in 1999 Jeff Hardy, he has a move called the Whisper in the Wind, which is where he goes to the top rope with his back facing the ring, and he does what is called a moonsault, which is basically just a back flip to where he lands stomach first on his opponent. But when he does his flip, he twists his body to where basically he goes from doing a back flip to like a front, flip and landing on his back on the opponent who is standing. Okay? He does this move every single match. Jinder Mahal is supposed to be there to get hit by the move, but also basically to catch Jeff Hardy and to fall down. Jeff goes to the top. Jeff does the Whisper in the Wind. He twists. He turns. Jinder not there.
Nowhere in sight.
And Jeff Hardy lands on the mat, which isn't necessarily a big deal. He's missed the move before, but that's been part of the match. This time, it was not supposed to be part of the match, and Jinder Mahal knew it. But instead of improvising and maybe stomping on Jeff Hardy, who's laying on the ground, and making it seem like that was the plan, nope. Jinder, for some reason, decided to go, oh shit, I was supposed to get hurt.
I'm supposed to fall.
He falls down after Jeff Hardy's missed him completely and acts like he got hit. Even the angle they showed at the pay-per-view, you could tell he missed him by a mile.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. And when I saw that, I was like, what the fuck?
But that being said, I still thought that was a pretty good match.
Decent match.
Besides that one little terrible botch.
The Deleters of Worlds versus the Bar.
I thought that was a good match.
I was meh.
The right team won.
Match. The right team won, but I was just kind of like, eh.
I mean, it wasn't. I mean, none of those guys are, well, besides Cesaro, are like hella workers, but I was intrigued. I liked the few little double team moves that the deleters do. I thought it was pretty good. I also liked. I much more liked the match between AJ and Shinsuke.
Oh, that was very good compared.
That was
to
so much
WrestleMania.
better. So much better than their match. And the World Championship or the Universal Championship, that match was really good. They botched the finish.
They actually did not.
Oh, so it was supposed to be this controversial bull crap?
Yes.
That's so stupid.
Yes. They did not
So
botch the
dumb.
finish. That was planned.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
now
that
it makes it even
so
worse.
it's going to go into the now it sucks. But either way, I thought that match was dope.
Casket match was there.
The casket match was cool. It was nice to see Taker doing Taker stuff. I mean, he looked like he'd
show a little bit more fire than he usually has over the last few years.
Yeah, I said, okay, he's going. Like it wasn't bad.
Do you think that match cheapens Undertaker even more in the eyes of some fans?
Does it cheapen him? Not necessarily, no, because I think that like no titles changed hands at this show. I think that this show technically doesn't exist. Like, I don't think it exists in the lore of WWE, like, television. I think it was just a good show that they showed on TV, but none of the winners or losers really have any effect. There's nothing that changes. No championships changed hands. Braun isn't going to come out with his greatest Royal Rumble championship belt or his trophy. Like, it's just going to go away.
Yeah.
It's almost like that Madison Square Garden house show.
Yeah. I mean, it basically, like Cliff's alluding to, Braun Strowman won the 50-man Royal Rumble. And as the winner, he was given a gigantic trophy, which, any wrestling fan will tell you, when you present someone with a giant trophy, it means that at some point, someone is going to destroy it.
Right.
There are certain rules in wrestling that you can, set your watch by. If there's a giant trophy, it will be destroyed. If there is a wedding, it will be ruined.
Yep. If it's a statue, it will be broken.
If there is a cake, someone's face will go in it.
Right. There's a table, someone will be slammed into it.
Right. I'm sure
there's a river, someone will be thrown
into it. Yes.
If there's an ambulance, someone will be crashed into it.
And if there's a giant box, someone is coming out of it. And according to Jim Carnett, they'll be over. So, like you said, I didn't hate the show. Okay. I thought it was good. I thought there were moments that were really good. The AJ Nakamura match, I really liked. I actually liked the Cena Triple H match. The Cruiserweight title match I liked.
Let's go.
So
LeBron won.
during the Cruiserweight title match, something happened. And I almost don't want to say it because I don't want to become the guy that always points this stuff out on this show. But because I saw it on Friday and I saw it again on Monday, I have to talk about it. Otherwise, I am doing WNA fans a disservice. During the cruiserweight title match.
Yes. Oh, you're disgusting.
Cliff, do you remember the spot when Cedric Alexander did his suicide dive, his tope over the top rope?
I remember the spot, yes.
Okay. Now, I saw that spot, and then I looked down at my phone. And I glanced back up, and I must have glanced back up at the right moment, and my eyes just happened to be in the right spot of my television.
Right, sure, in the right spot.
When Cedric did that dive, and they showed the replay in slow motion, did you notice that not all of Cedric cleared the top rope?
I did not notice that until you pointed it out.
And now you can't unsee it, can you?
I hate you.
Not all of Cedric cleared the top rope. One part of him happened to catch that top rope, and the slow motion effect made it a whole hell of a lot worse. Please, if you will, indulge me, go back, watch that match, look at the spot. They showed it again on Monday, so if you still got Raw on your DVR, check it out. It will never be something that you will unsee again. Every time you see that spot from now on, you will see Lil Cedric. And the slow motion. Yeah, I'm moving on.
Please do. Let's get to the greatest moment.
Let's get to some of the controversy coming out of the show.
Okay.
All right. First off, Arya Daivari apparently getting death threats after performing on the show.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
They I guess they thought it was real. The whole, them bringing out the Iranian flag and running down the Saudi talent there. Apparently, the Saudis weren't too happy about that.
No. Apparently, there's a bit of an issue between the Saudis and the Iranians.
Yeah. And somebody went ahead and sent some death threats to Mr. Daivari.
Mm-hmm.
To which he ended up having to put out a tweet talking about the character that he plays on television.
Right.
And to try basically to separate the Iranian nationalist, so to speak, because Daivari's from Minnesota.
Yeah, I was going to say. Guys, he's from Minnesota.
Yeah, no. And I think, it's no worse than him playing a Bond villain or a, Mission Impossible villain. Like he's an actor, guys. He's not really an Iranian nationalist. So I think you guys can be okay. I was actually pretty surprised at the balls that Vince McMahon and the WWE had to pull that off.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering why Daivari, why his brother Daivari, Sean Daivari, why he was there in the first place. I'm
right.
Like, he's not a Saudi. They really just did that for that spot.
Yeah, to get the Saudi Arabian trainees over.
Yeah. And they could have did that with just Arya.
Yeah.
So I was...
Which, by the way, I was a fan of that segment.
Yeah, I was too. It gave me some old school Iron Sheik, and it was real heat. And
those some of those Saudi guys, especially the one with the long hair, what was his name, Mansoor or something like that?
Oh yeah, he actually had.
I was
sounded
impressed.
like he had
I was
some
like,
skills.
this guy's got some charisma on him. Like,
Yeah.
look at this guy. And then whoever Ninja Frank was with the kicks,
these guys look like they got some work. So are they going to be? They're going to the Performance Center in Orlando, correct?
Well, I would assume so, but according to what WWE has been talking about, WrestleMania weekend, Triple H had this, business conference or whatever, and he was talking about the plan is to, for lack of a better way of putting it, WWE is into global domination right now with NXT.
Oh, yeah.
Or excuse me, he used the word localization.
Localization, yeah.
Yes. They plan to do performance centers like NXT places around the globe, and one of them is going to be in Saudi Arabia.
Well, they about to get that. They about to get that Arab money for real.
And
they're
that's
going
the thing.
After it, so whatever deal they got going on, there's a lot of money there.
Yeah, everybody wondering why this is happening. WWE apparently is getting paid an obscene amount of money for these shows. I mean, I want to say I read somewhere that there was talk it was in like the $100 million range for these shows.
That's crazy.
You want to know why it's happening? Well,
yeah, you're right. Regardless of what you left wing, right wing, whatever wing you support, they going to get it.
Business is business. And when somebody's willing to pay you that kind of money, you're like, yeah, what do you want to do?
Right. No women? Sure.
Okay.
All right.
There you go. You just hit the next topic there. Women were not allowed on the show.
Yet.
However, they were not allowed on the show this time, and a lot of people were very upset about this.
Yeah. Understandable.
I can't say I disagree. For a company that is touting this women's revolution, you would think you would try to make it happen in some way. However, there's also something to be said for, this country, this is their traditions. This is their, religious beliefs, if you want to hang your hat on that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to agree with it.
Not at all.
But, it is what it is. WWE loves money more than they do, making a statement. They're a publicly traded company.
Yeah.
And if their investors found out that they turned down an opportunity to make an obscene amount of money, because they wanted Alexa Bliss on the show, I guarantee you, no matter who that stockholder is and whether or not they are her biggest fan, they would say, wait a minute. You turned down that kind of money, which as a stockholder of this company also means money for me.
Right.
Because of what again?
Right. Let's have this conversation.
But all the women that were not able to be on the show, they are getting paid. They are getting paid awesome. As if they were on the show.
That's pretty cool.
So, I don't know 100%, that the men are being paid a percentage of that obscene amount of money, but you have to think that they're probably getting paid for the kind of spectacle that this show was. You got to think they were probably getting paid on par with what a major WWE tentpole show pays those people in their performance bonuses.
Right. Which would be great. I mean, and it's a step in the right direction. I think that for WWE to even be able to do a show in Saudi Arabia that was on this big of a stage. And another thing was that even though women weren't allowed to perform, they were allowed to attend.
Yes.
And that was something that was even touted as a success, is that they're allowing men and women to actually gather in entertainment together.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that has also been not allowed for the longest. So there's a lot of things happening in Saudi Arabia right now that, there's progression. Their religious beliefs are not going to change anytime soon. But things such as, just the freedom of being able to be in the same building, to be able to congregate, to be able to, enjoy entertainment together. I think that's a step in the right direction. And I do believe that eventually we will see a match with women. Maybe not at the next one. You said there's another one in November. It could be as soon as that one. We may see something there. They may be able to negotiate something there, or maybe next year. But I think it's a step in the right direction. There were some other controversies, if you want to get to them, regarding Sami Zayn. I don't know exactly if there was any truth behind the rumors that I read, but I did read that, he has very strong ties to Syria, and he's even has, is it a hospital or?
Yeah.
I know
Sami is of Syrian descent.
Mm-hmm.
He has funded, a charity that it's like a mobile hospital, that, takes care of people in Syria. And, again, tension between Syria and Saudi Arabia. There is that controversy. But something I want to jump back real quick to talk about with what you were saying about there has been some progression with women in Saudi Arabia. You mentioned women being able to attend the show. That is true, but there is some smoke and mirrors to that.
Mm-hmm.
They were only able to attend the show and sit with men if it is a family. A woman could just not buy a ticket and go to the show. There also was they had to publicly apologize to viewers of the show and people in attendance. The Saudi Arabian prince did, because a commercial was shown on the screens that had women, scantily clad women in the commercial, Sasha Banks and things like that they felt offended some people, so they had to apologize for it. Again, progression being made, however, still a long way to go.
Well, for sure. And that was an apology from the prince. It wasn't an apology from WWE.
Correct.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, Sami Zayn of Syrian descent, he did not go to the show. I don't know that he was asked not to go. If I had to put my 2 cents in as to what I thought, I would assume he probably chose not to go.
Mm.
You can't fault the guy if that's the case.
No, not at all.
So yeah, I mean, there was definitely some controversy coming out of it, but again, all the ladies that did not get to perform on the show, they are getting paid. And I guarantee you that if you asked any one of those ladies whether or not they wanted to give up that paycheck because they felt so strongly about not being able to attend, pretty sure every damn one of them is going to say, you are out your goddamn mind.
Right. That's finna go get me a new Fendi bag, boo.
So we talked about all that, but we haven't talked about the greatest moment.
The greatest moment in not only Royal Rumble history, but in wrestling history since its inception.
Quite possibly. The greatest moment in the history of professional wrestling. Such a moment has not been seen since the Shockmaster himself burst through a wall in WCW television and straight into your heart. We are, of course, talking about the entrance of Titus O'Neil in the Greatest Royal Rumble match. Cliff!
Worldwide.
Titus, his music plays like a house of fire. With all the energy that he can muster, he races down the ramp. The ring is within reach. What does Titus O'Neil do?
Titus must have been watching the slip and slide commercial in the back, because that boy's big size, what is he, about a 17-foot?
Oh my God.
Got tripped up and slid head first under the ring. His entire body, sans his boots, ended up under the ring.
Under the ring. He disappeared under the
literally
ring.
was gone. And
He
it made
tripped.
for
You
not
heard
only
him.
one of the best moments, but just hearing them dying on commentary was the absolute best thing.
Important people, and he just.
Oh my God! What the heck? What did Titus just? I can't believe what I just saw. Did that really happen?
Oh my God!
Oh my God! Did that happen?
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
It was such a moment that WWE replayed it within seconds after it happened. And they replayed it, what, a dozen times?
Oh my goodness.
It was a split screen between that and the Royal Rumble, and they just kept showing it over and over again because it
Different
was
angles.
so funny. I probably laughed so hard that I couldn't breathe for 10 minutes.
Man, that was bad. That was funny.
But the best part to me was come Raw on Monday, they're replaying it again and again
And again.
and again. At that point, I said, okay, this is one of the things that bothers me the most about this company. When something organic happens,
Yeah.
you run it into the goddamn ground. Still funny, but come on.
Yeah.
When they
Which
show
now they're gonna use it as
a
a
gimmick,
push. Yeah.
he's got a shirt. Did you see this
No,
yet?
he doesn't.
Yes, he does. He's got a shirt.
Not a real WWE
A real
shop.
WWE produced shirt.
No.
Yes, I'm bringing it up right now.
Titus World Slide.
Titus World Slide shirt.
Is it real? Are you serious?
Yes.
I just made that up in my head.
Nope. It is a real shirt. The front of the shirt, like the Greatest Royal Rumble logo, is green and red. And it says the words Rumble, Stumble, or Slide. And there's a pair of feet under the word Slide. And on the back, it says Titus World Slide.
That's so bad. But if somebody's going to buy it,
Or no, excuse me. Rumble, Stumble, or Slide. On the back, it says Do It Worldwide.
wow.
Yep. So like I said, run it right into the goddamn ground.
Wow. Well,
However-
at least Titus gets a shirt out of it.
Right. However, get a little merch money out of it.
Yeah.
When they were doing the replay on Monday, I caught something that I did not catch when it happened live. And it made me laugh even harder because they kept showing the replay over and over again on Monday. When they were showing it, the mic was picking up the sound of him falling. And when he falls under the ring, he screams. You get this, ha!
Oh man.
And
Whoa, slide.
I'm hoping. Obviously, we don't know what this week will bring us as far as editing. So if it is not there, I'm apologizing now. But I'm hoping if we're playing it right now, listen. Just listen to see if you hear him scream.
That may be the greatest thing I've ever seen.
That may be the greatest moment in Royal Rumble history.
Oh, it was great.
And my last controversy. Hershey's. I was thinking of Hershey's because I want some chocolate.
Oh.
Controversy was, of course, what we already mentioned. The winner, or I guess not so winner, of the steel cage match for the Universal Championship should have been the one, the only Roman Reigns.
Because his feet touched first?
His feet touched the ground first. Mm-hmm. And as they said multiple times before, during, and after the match, the only way to win is to escape the cage. Both feet must hit the ground. And when set up, Brock's at the edge of the cage. We get a beautiful spear through the cage. Brock takes a brutal bump to the back of his head.
I say Roman took a worse bump on that. He went head first to the floor.
No, it looked like Roman was braced by Brock. It was more flesh on he was more flesh on flesh than flesh on steel, I think. And plus he was up a little bit higher. Or he was technically lower, but where the where the cage hit, it didn't look like Roman took much of the brunt to me. But either way, the back of Brock's head definitely smacked off of that off of the floor and the cage. So they're hit, boom. Roman Reigns rolls off to the right or the left. My right, his left. And his feet hit the floor. Then Brock Lesnar rolls off his side of the cage. His feet hit the floor. And the ref immediately awards the match to Brock Lesnar. Now, I watched it real time and I said, no. Roman definitely hit. Then they showed it in slow motion. Roman definitely hit. I said I thought it was a botch. I thought that maybe Roman's momentum took him to the floor and he wasn't supposed to roll off yet. However, Mr. Robb is saying that it was a work and that it was supposed to happen this way. Mm-hmm. So
this is according to Meltzer, and you can take that with a grain of salt. But he says that according to his sources, that was the planned finish, and that they were going to, give Roman a reason to, walk away and move on without, officially losing, but also give Brock the win.
That's terrible.
Another thing I want to point out that kind of bothers me about this, and I'm usually not somebody that really cares about this shit, but it does kind of to me. I don't know why. So are we now just basically coming to the realization that this means that they're going to let Brock beat CM Punk's streak?
Well, it seems that way. It's almost over.
Yeah. Apparently Brock's only about a month away now.
Yeah, and he's probably not going to be on the show.
They're saying he's not wrestling again until Money in the Bank.
Yeah, so He'll
beat it.
definitely do it. And I'm sure they want to get the stank of CM Punk out of them anyway.
Yeah.
Even though Punk needs to go ahead and get this fight under his belt, win, lose, or draw, come back to the WWE.
Yeah. I don't see it.
Hey, we didn't see Ultimate Warrior getting inducted to the Hall of Fame either.
Very true. Ultimate Warrior, Jeff Jarrett. If you'd have told me that Jeff Jarrett was going to get inducted into the Hall of Fame, a man who held up Vince McMahon for money,
right,
and got publicly fired on television. Yeah, no, I wouldn't have ever thought I'd see the day.
Yeah, so I think as long as it can be right, I think honestly, if Punk would have won his first UFC match or UFC fight, I think he would have come back before then.
Oh, bullshit. He'd still be fighting.
No, I don't think so.
I think he loses this time. They're not going to want him to fight in UFC anymore. And if you're going to be an MMA fighter and you're not fighting in UFC, yeah, you have Bellator as an option. I just don't see Punk being that guy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see him going, oh, well, I'll go to Bellator. No,
because he didn't even want to fight in the UFC.
I just think
Dana White called him.
I don't think
like,
it's him.
You wanna fight?
I don't think it's him coming back though. I just think it's him, being happily retired and enjoying his time at home with his lovely wife.
Well, I would love to enjoy that time as well. But
I don't think there's a red-blooded man in this world. I don't think there's anybody listening to the show right now that wouldn't happily enjoy that time.
Yeah, with their wife, not with
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm watching the Rumble 2008 right now.
Why?
Just cause 205 Live was over and I wanted to watch something, so I went to the Marquee Matches show and that was one of the options. And Santino Marella just came out and looking swole. Like, when did that happen?
Must have been before he cycled off.
Apparently.
It's so messed up that every time I see somebody that looks remotely bigger,
there's a look.
Yep, they're taking roids.
There's a look. There's a puffy look.
Yeah. Like, you don't want to, I don't want to talk shit about nobody, but you'd be like, come on, guy.
Yeah, come on.
But hey, I love it.
I love it. So speaking of love, what's the opposite of love?
You. Hate.
There you go. Hate. Did you catch Raw on Monday?
Kinda.
Wow. Did the Montreal fans fucking hate Roman Reigns?
Goodness. They hated his soul.
I mean, they wanted him dead.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Oh my God. I felt bad. Oh, speaking of brutal, out comes Great Khali.
Hey, Great Khali even had a cameo in the Rumble.
Yeah, it only took him about 45 minutes to get to the ring.
Hey.
And he
got all his chops in.
He looked like he was in pain with every step.
Yeah, I was like, ooh, when he actually got eliminated, I was like, oh, I think he broke his leg.
I know. Oh my God. Yeah, Great Khali. Wow. That was an experience. Yeah, they hated Roman Reigns. Like you said, I think that's a good way to put it. They hated his soul. His
entire soul.
I mean, they didn't want him to speak. They didn't want to see his face. They didn't want him in the ring. But when Sammy and KO came out,
oh my goodness,
holy shit. And you got
Sammy than KO.
Yeah, well, at least the entrance. But once they started speaking, it totally flipped.
Yeah.
And KO came out fired up and was playing to the crowd, and I'm like, is this what it could look like if we got to face Kevin Owens?
Yeah.
I could do it. I could do it.
I could dig it.
Yeah. I could do it. I didn't really like much else on Raw.
No, I can't say that I did.
I was not moved by anything on Raw.
I'm really, really hating this bliss moments or moments of bliss.
Yeah, I was hoping you were going to bring that up. So am I.
Those are just awful.
It's lazy.
It's super lazy.
It's so lazy. And you know what? It's funny that you bring this up. I had a discussion with our boy Leo from the Smart Spot podcast earlier about this. Him and the guys over at Boar Meets World podcast. I even kind of got involved in a little Twitter argument that Leo was having with somebody about these segments. And Leo brought up a good point. He said, the whole point of these segments is she's the heel. You're supposed to be angry at her. You're supposed to hate her. And this is true. But I brought up to Leo and, to somebody else who tried to make the analogy that, that's the problem with some of these fans that think that, oh, she's a heel, so it's okay for her to say whatever she wants because you're supposed to hate her. They'd probably think the same thing if there was a white supremacist gimmick. Oh, it's just getting heat. To which I said, well, that's an extreme example. But I said, basically you both have a point. In my mind, yes, Leo is correct in that's the point. They're trying to get you to hate her. And that would be fine. This Twitter user brought up the fact that, they have this anti-bullying campaign, Be a Star. How can you have this Be a Star campaign and then have segments where you have one woman basically saying the other woman's a big fat cow and blubber? And what did she say this past Monday? A turkey leg in each hand.
Turkey leg in each hand. Now, I thought that was actually funny.
You're a sick son of a bitch.
I'm sorry, but I hated that entire segment. But when she said that, I did chuckle a bunch.
But the whole segment, WWE in the media and publicly, if asked about this segment, will hide behind what Leo is saying. Alexa is playing a character. She's a quote mean girl. She's making fun of, Nia Jax, who is a beautiful woman, just happens to be big. A plus size woman, if you will. However, I brought up the fact that, well, that would be fine if it wasn't for the fact that the whole segment is produced, scripted, and performed for laughs.
Right.
If they were not trying to get you to laugh, then you could hide behind the whole, it's a character. The whole point is that the words are so heartless and nasty. She shouldn't be trying to get you to chuckle.
Right.
She should just be saying it with conviction, and you are supposed to be like, wow, you are a nasty little bitch.
You are nasty. Yeah, it's supposed to be mean and nasty.
But no, they play it for laughs and the whole, pausing for dramatic effect and, acting like she's disgusted, but yet she feels bad for her because she can't help that she's a bully. It's played for laughs. So it basically shoots that argument in the foot.
Yeah.
Oh, but when Nia gets her hands on Alexa, it's going to be awesome. True. But it also, you are dangerously walking a line in which if these segments get too entertaining, you then have people booing Nia. So now how does that look?
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Not everybody in the crowd is going to think intelligently about the segment.
Especially the 10-year-olds.
Correct. Who are the ones you should be trying to get this across to that, hey, you don't do this.
Right. But they need to. I really wish that like Alexa gets destroyed. Like, I feel like the lesson should be, hey, when you talk shit to people, you get your ass beat.
Yeah.
Like, that should be the lesson. So for all the kids that are watching, hey, if somebody's bullying you, you need to put them hands on them.
Yeah.
Stand up for yourself and don't take it. If Alexa wins, I am going to be so upset.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think it'll happen, but I would not for 1 second put it past WWE to find a way to have Alexa win.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past him either. And let me clarify that. I wouldn't be upset. Because I don't give a shit. But I would be remiss if I didn't say how terrible of an idea it would be, just from a storyline perspective as well.
It would effectively kill Nia.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, just kind of like what they're doing with Roman. Look.
Well, how Roman's getting his arse kicked every week.
He's getting his ass beat every week. He's, I really
hope he loses to Samoa Joe.
Giving him chance after chance after chance at Brock Lesnar, and he always loses. Now Samoa Joe's character is pointing it out.
Yeah.
And it's true.
It's super true. That's why I don't want Joe to lose. But it's almost like, do you want Roman to lose at this point? I mean, I think Roman has had his moment in the sun. And it's time for Joe to take over on SmackDown. I think AJ needs to retain against Nakamura, and Joe needs to beat Reigns and go on to a program with AJ.
Well, it's funny you bring that up because on SmackDown tonight, AJ Styles. Why did I say AJ Styles?
AJ Styles? Can't wait to put the rewind button in there.
AJ Styles.
AJ Styles.
He's in the ring cutting a promo, and he gets interrupted by Samoa Joe. And Samoa Joe, whose promo work lately has been just another level.
Yeah, that's that performance center.
Oh my God, his promos lately. He comes out and he cuts a promo on AJ, and he basically says, win, lose, or draw this Sunday against Roman Reigns, it doesn't matter. Whether it be you or whether it be Nakamura, when I'm done with Roman, I'm taking that belt. And I'm like, please, dear
let it
God,
happen. Let it go from one TNA original to the next.
But talk about somebody for a character right now that is so hot since coming back. Yeah. And they've been playing him the right way. You gotta pull the trigger if that's the case.
Yeah.
You have to. And I would hope that this means you're going to let him run with that ball.
Yeah, for a minute.
I mean, to me, I know WWE has never been this kind of a company or territory. Most wrestling companies are heel territories. And what I mean by that, non-wrestling fans, is your big champion, your world champion, more often than not is the bad guy.
Yeah.
Because it makes it for more drama that the hero has to fight against all odds to take the belt.
Right.
And if he doesn't make it, another one may step up to do so. The heel is trying his best to keep the belt away from whoever is the next guy up. And you are paying, hopefully, because you hate that guy so much that you are paying to watch somebody get his ass.
Right.
WWE, though, especially since they had their major boom with Hulk Hogan, has traditionally been, and actually, no, I'll even go back to say before that, Bob Backlund, Pedro Morales, Bruno Sammartino, WWE has long been a face territory in that the world champion, more often than not, is the hero.
Yeah.
And when he loses the belt, he loses it usually for no more than a few months.
Yeah.
I would hope that they would give Joe a run and have him go against AJ, have him go against Orton. Daniel Bryan, oh my God.
If this is my hope.
You talk about you and
for the next year.
Your reaction to the Avengers. Like if Joe wins the belt, I mean, tune into WNA that week because I will be fucking exploding on the show.
Sploosh. Sploosh. I think it's ready, man. It's time.
It is time.
And I think the experiment with AJ Styles is proving that it's time. Because who would have ever thought that AJ Styles, the phenomenal one from TNA, would be the guy.
The guy. He's by far the most popular guy in the company.
Yeah. And Joe is right behind him.
He's right there. I would say you got your AJ. You got right now, to me, the most popular guy aside from AJ is Braun, followed closely by Seth. And to me, the one that's getting the best reactions outside of them is a heel. It's Joe.
Joe.
I need it. You understand? I need
it, man. Come on.
You love it. I need it.
Come on, man.
Oh.
It'd be cool to me, man.
A couple of things that jumped out at me from SmackDown that I wanted to talk about. I know you were into your game, which, by the way, who won?
Cleveland won.
There you go.
LeBron and them.
There was a segment with the New Day and the Bar that, I'm sorry, it made me laugh for the weirdness factor. Not just because, New Day is funny, but there was some weird shit happening in this segment. So they got the pancakes, right?
Uh-huh.
At some point, they called out the name Bootyworth.
What?
Mr. Bootyworth. They were trying to get Mr. Bootyworth to come out. And this little chubby white dude comes running out with a plate full of pancakes. So apparently they have a valet named Mr. Bootyworth.
I did not see that part.
He didn't come to the ring with them. He just hangs out in the back and makes some pancakes.
Oh, goodness.
So now you know where they get all their pancakes from. Big E still hates Sheamus. Kept saying Sheamus is really the worst. He's the worst. Like, Sheamus made a joke and he kept saying it over and over again.
Sheamus really is the worst.
Oh my God, Sheamus is the worst. He really is. And then he tells, I'm looking at Kofi, and for some reason he's wearing vinyl gloves. And during the promo, out of nowhere, Big E says, oil me, Kofi.
Baby oil me. Baby oil me, bro.
What?
And Kofi pulls out a bottle of baby oil and starts oiling up Big E's tits.
Oh, no.
And then he's oiling up his chest, too. But Big E, for the rest of the promo, is sitting there rubbing baby oil into his giant fucking tits. And I was entertained completely by it.
You would be.
Oh my God.
I did not see that segment. Damn it. I only saw I saw the match with Xavier and Sheamus and Cesaro trying to sell bootleg pancakes out of his trench coat.
Yeah, right.
I saw that part, but I didn't see Bootyworth or any of that.
The notes for that segment that I have written down is Big E, Bootyworth, and Baby Oil. Another thing that jumped out to me. If Chris Richardson was here right now, I'd ask him to cut his great impression, which Fred over at the Retro Wrestling Podcast is a huge fan of. Big Cass had a ridiculously long segment on SmackDown in which he brought out Daniel Bryan. Of course, it was a midget dressed as Daniel Bryan. Wait, midget? No, little person.
Oh. SJWs are going to be on your ass, buddy.
Dragon's milk, ladies and gentlemen. It's Dragon's milk. A little person dressed as Daniel Bryan.
And you're laughing, so they're definitely going to come after you. If you guys came after me for saying the R word, y'all better give Rob the business.
Wait a minute.
Right now.
We missed something from Greatest Royal Rumble that I have to talk about.
Who? Oh, the 420 pound
Hornswoggle. What the fuck? Has Hornswoggle been doing this whole time that he's been out of the company?
He's been eating.
Holy
That's what he's been doing. He has been eating.
To where Corey Graves started making jokes and saying that Hornswoggle weighs 420 pounds.
He's 3'9", 420.
Which there are some that are saying that technically Hornswoggle was never eliminated.
Yeah, he was.
No, he wasn't.
Well, he went. Oh, because he went under
the rope, and then he tried to climb to the top rope, and Dolph Ziggler super kicked him. To which I said, "Well, he made it to the top rope, so technically that counts."
He was over the top rope.
So, anyways, Big Cass brings out a little person.
I will refuse to call him Big Cass. He is now Big Ass.
Big Ass. Actually, I'm going to start calling him Edge with jaundice. Because that's what he looks like to me. Especially during this segment. He had these, like, the eyes going. He was waiting for the little person to turn around. So he was standing there kind of like, you know, doing his little shimmy, like ready to, like, you know, give him the big boot. I'm like, he looks like Edge. Except
on this day,
really, really, really yellowish brown. So he's Edge with jaundice from now on.
Could he pull it off, though?
He's EWJ. Could he pull it off? Could he pull off being like an Edge clone? No.
Yeah.
He was cutting a decent promo, though. I mean, the one he cut the week before was good too, but you know, I don't know. It's Cass. In many ways, Cass kind of has the, not just because of his size, but he has the test aura to me.
Yeah.
You know, has all the tools, but there's just something that ain't quite there.
Yeah.
You know, Billy Gunn, Shelton Benjamin. I mean, I could go on.
Yeah, I mean, there's always this something. You got to have that it factor that you can use to propel you to the next level. Sometimes it's just a character tweak. Sometimes it's a heel or face turn. You know, until you figure that out. Because at one point, Big Cass, when he was with Enzo, he was hella over.
He was.
You know, he went out, you know, they main evented a couple tag matches. They tried to push him as a face, you know, kind of a face monster when Enzo got injured. Had a couple big matches, was in some championship matches. I think they see big things in Big Cass. It's going to take him a while to get this heel thing over, though, because it's just not it's just not clicking. And you got to have more to your character than I'm big. It's like, yeah, we know, but what else? Like Big
What
Show
else?
was big, but he had charisma. He's got, it wasn't just I'm big, I can beat you up, even though most of the time that's really what he did. But he just destroyed you. He didn't have to say it.
Right.
And now it's just like that's your deal. I'm 7 feet tall. I'm bigger than you. You're a little guy. Okay, well, why don't you go face a bigger guy? Like there's big guys on SmackDown. You may be the tallest, but there's definitely some other guys you could have a match with. But anywho, big ass.
Big ass. I do want to warn you ahead of time, though. When you watch SmackDown, there's something that's going to happen that I want you to prepare yourself for.
Mm.
You're not going to like it. I think you're going to be pretty hurt by this. There was a backstage segment between Paige and members of Absolution.
Oh, I did see that.
Are you okay?
I'm perfectly
Are
fine.
you sure?
Yes, sir.
Absolution's dead, Cliff. I just want to make sure.
No.
I want to make sure you're in a good place right now. Do you need to talk? Do you?
Riot Squad 2.0. Riot Solution.
Riot Solution. Yeah. No, I don't have much else to say aside from that.
Oh no.
By the way, Shinsuke got in them nuts again on AJ on Tuesday. So just, keep that in mind.
Did it happen again?
It happened again. It happened during the Joe promo. Joe's out there cutting a promo on AJ, and just as he, the music hits, Joe's music hits, and he starts to turn to walk away, all of a sudden the camera pans over and AJ's going, "Hurrah!" like that. And you see a fist between AJ's legs, and Nakamura's standing there acting like he's got electricity flowing through him. He's like, his best Liu Kang in Mortal Kombat.
Why? What kind of match is this going to be at Backlash?
No DQ.
Okay, cool.
So Nakamura is free to get in them guts every time he wants. I'm calling it now. I won't be able to watch the match because as of Sunday evening, I will be relaxing on a cruise ship on my way through the Bahamas. So I won't be able to watch the match until I return.
You going on the Jericho cruise?
I am not going on the Jericho cruise.
Kid Rock cruise?
No, fuck Kid Rock. I wouldn't go on it. What is a Kid
Tom
Rock
Joyner
cruise?
Morning Show cruise?
What is a Kid Rock cruise? A Kid Rock
Kid Rockin'
cruise? No,
cruise,
Kid
man.
Rock cruise is probably on a fucking pontoon boat in the middle of Belleville Lake.
No, the Kid Rock cruise is actually pretty lit.
Nah, I refuse.
Seriously.
I refuse to believe that.
No, look it up because it's pretty crazy.
Hey, Carlito. Anyways, I will be on a boat.
I'm on a boat,
That's right. I won't be able to watch the match, but I'm calling it right now. When I get back home and I watch this match, I want there to be at least 30% offense from Shinsuke Nakamura aimed at AJ Styles' nuts. I want a whole offensive game plan based around bashing AJ's testicles.
Terrible. But of course you would. Seeing how you can't stop obsessing over genitals in the WWE.
Look, it's not my fault that
it's your thing.
It's not my fault that Cedric's lumbar check got caught up on the top rope when he was on his way out. It's not my fault that Finn Balor can't wear long trunks. It's not my fault that Shelton Benjamin trying to smuggle a basketball everywhere he goes.
Terrible. Oh, Lord. Moving on.
Well, I don't have anything else wrestling related.
Wrestling, I'm good. Is there any news, any rumors, anything happening lately?
Anything
cool? Oh, I did have one thing.
Okay.
One thing I did want to talk about. It's not it's nothing negative or positive. I guess it could be positive for some people, but I think maybe it's possibly payback for them not being able to go to Saudi Arabia. But for them to have the women's matches main event the shows lately.
Yeah. They main evented
There was
SmackDown
6-man or 6-woman tag on SmackDown this week, and then there was a 6-woman tag on Raw.
You think that was the
week.
reason?
I'm not saying it was, but I mean, what other reason would for it to be a 6-man, 6-woman tag match? Like, it was like, really? Iconics in the main event already? Not really. Riot Squad in the main event? Not really. So just one of those things. It's like, I could understand if it was Sasha versus Bayley in the main event, or if it was, Becky versus Carmella, in a non-title match or even a title match, something like that.
Which
Alexa Bliss versus Nia, Alexa Bliss versus Sasha. But they had, it was just like, Riot Squad and Iconics in the main event just wasn't really my thing.
Look, I'm just saying, and I don't know if it's Dragon's Milk talking or what, but the main event of SmackDown this week was just a whole lot of sexy.
Was Beck glorious?
It was fantastic. Both teams.
Yeah.
Both teams.
I wasn't mad at it. Not mad at all. The Becky Lynch has been, I don't know what has happened lately
with the whole new gear,
but I love it.
I love it. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Jinkies.
There's something about that new gear. And then
that's
I know, there's something Chris Richardson, I'm sure, will agree. When Charlotte does her entrance and she rolls in the ring, but before she does it, she kind of winks at the camera. Kind of feel like it's at you, don't you?
Yeah.
I love Asuka.
I should put my VR goggles on just for that.
Ew.
Yeah.
Ew. Why you got to make it weird?
Because that's what I do, baby.
So, okay. Enough wrestling.
All right. F wrestling. Let's talk about what really is going on.
WNA listeners, warning you right now. We're going to give many, many warnings here. We are about to talk about Avengers. And there will be spoilers. So if you have not seen the movie and you do not wish to be spoiled, I will repeat again. If you have not seen Avengers Infinity War and you do not wish to be spoiled, shut the show off now. We'll catch you either next week or the week after. We're still working on whether or not we got an episode next week.
We're going to figure it out.
We'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for listening. Always kick out at 2.
Sweet. And
so, again, this is now your final warning. If you have not seen Avengers and you do not wish to be spoiled, shut the show off now. But if you are listening, it either means you've seen the movie or you don't give a shit. Avengers discussion begins. And now, Cliff.
Oh my God.
Cliff.
Yes.
The opening 10 minutes had me going,
Right. You just ripped my heart out right in the beginning.
like straight up, Thanos just, I'm hoping for a choke slam on Loki, and it doesn't happen.
Nah, no choke slam, just a choke.
And then he goes over to my boy Heimdall.
Yep.
I'm like, wow, 10 minutes, we've already lost 2 major characters in the MCU.
Right.
What's going to happen
Lost
now?
2, and then the ultra combo he put on Hulk
Yeah, man.
was just
It was like Killer Instinct back in the day.
That first punch to the throat.
Yeah.
Hey, Hulk. He said, damn. KO. Man.
So much so that he put the fear in Hulk to where he didn't want to come back
fear.
out the rest of the movie.
Oh my goodness.
No!
No. That was just, they had to establish him right off the
And
bat.
they did.
And they did. They
He,
said,
by
"You know
far,
what?
beginning to end of that movie was one of the most, if not the most, compelling MCU villain that they've ever had.
Oh, yeah.
Because,
For sure.
I mean, if you read the Infinity War, saga, you know what Thanos' true reason is for wanting to eliminate half of the galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
He fell in love with the living embodiment of death, and he wanted to impress her.
It says, I'm going to just kill half the people in the universe.
But the movie,
How about
I
that?
thought, I actually liked the reasoning better in the movie than I did in the comics.
Yeah, I thought they gave it a bit of a,
To where you can
I got
see
into an
from his point of
argument
view.
about it. Yeah.
Hey, if I don't put checks and balances in place in this universe, we're going to kill each other.
Yeah.
There's going to be more people than there are going to be resources. I am doing a service, if you will, to the universe by eliminating half of it. And then you just have to call me king.
Right. Let's do that.
Yeah. Oh man, I liked it. But
I loved it.
I mean,
I got 3 in tonight.
you did.
Wow.
There
Good
were
job,
some
Cliff.
that did not like the ending for various reasons. Oh,
Yeah.
it wasn't a happy ending, dude. They're coming out with a second one.
Right. They told you way in the beginning that it was a part 1 and a part 2.
So-
they just changed the names so that they could be separate.
Right. If this was like the end of Marvel Cinematic Universe, then yeah, you could be like, ugh, that's how you're going to end it? No, bro. They got movies coming out later this year, and the sequel to this one comes out next year.
Right.
Um,
And there's 3 movies in between it.
right.
Or is there 2?
2.
Ant-Man and Captain Marvel.
Yep, Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
But Ant-Man and the Wasp, from what I'm hearing, takes place simultaneously as this movie.
Oh, and it kind of explains why they're not there.
Correct. And from what I'm hearing, things that
I
happen.
didn't see the trailer. It dropped today.
Yeah, things that happen in this movie are going to lead to characters from this movie now appearing in the next Avengers movie. And I have a
they're the only
theory.
ones left.
I have a theory as to what this means, and I'll get to that in a moment. And then Captain Marvel's taking place in the 90s.
Right.
Ronan,
Which is why he had a beeper
Right. when I saw it, I was like,
as in Samuel Jackson.
when I saw it, I was like, I think I had that pager, Nick Fury.
Right. Was that the Sky? Was that the Motorola Sky?
Yeah, Ronan the Accuser is going to be playing a big role in Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
So, right off the bat, you kill off Heimdall, you kill off Loki, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, here we go. And by the end of the movie, you lost Gamora.
Wait, before we drop all the names, can we just discuss how Gamora took the most horrific L ever? Because
you realized it was happening
when
she was so cocky, like, whatever, this ain't happening. He doesn't love anybody.
Yeah.
And then you see Thanos crying. And she's like,
and then
Red Skull.
Awesome cameo from Red Skull, by the way.
Dude, I so was excited. I was like, there, we finally got the answer.
I actually made an audible noise in the audience when I was watching.
Yeah, I was like, I leaned over to my wife. I was like, oh, there he is. She goes, who? I was like, Red Skull. She goes, who's that? I was like, and Captain America, he beamed off into space and everybody thought he did. It's okay. It's all right.
Right. He's there. He's here. He's good.
But then he said,
those tears are not for him.
For him. I was like, oh,
and then
God.
When you get that shot, and when it has that push in to Gamora and you just see her whole
realization,
demeanor change, I'm just like, oh.
It was horror on a couple levels, which is what I liked. One, she was like, holy shit, he has loved me this whole time. And two, it was, holy shit, he loves me.
He loves me.
Oh, I was like, oh, God.
Yeah, that was just like, oh, this is going to happen.
And the fact it was slow motion when he grabbed her hand. Yeah. And he's got this look of disgust on his face that he even has to do it. To the point to where when he threw her off the cliff, he did it in such a, fuck, let me get this over with. Kind of like, I thought it was just brilliant the way it all played out.
Yeah.
To which, at the end, when you lost so many people, my wife leaned over to me, and she doesn't really watch any of the Marvel movies. She likes the Guardians movies. And she likes the Iron Man movies. After watching Infinity War, she was like, you know what? I kind of want to watch Doctor Strange because he made an impression on her. So
Blamberdag Cumber Snatch.
Yeah, Blamberdag Cumber Snatch. She says, well, wait a minute. They can't kill off half the Guardians of the Galaxy. They're making another one. I said, I know. And she goes, well, okay, so then that makes me feel a little bit better because she goes, for a minute there, I'm like, holy shit, they're getting rid of like everybody.
Yeah.
And a podcast friend of ours, Fred over at Wretched Wrestling, he wanted to shit on Avengers because he said, oh, everybody knows that those people aren't dead because they're making sequels for half those movies. And I'm like, not everybody knows it.
Right.
Hell, they didn't technically announce Guardians 3 until literally today.
Right. And now it's like, wait a minute, because they haven't announced the Black Panther sequel.
But it's happening. That movie made so much bank.
It's the highest grossing Marvel movie right now.
It's going to happen.
Yeah. Most definitely.
But, like when it was all going down, had I been sitting there with somebody else, I probably would have looked at that person and said, well, they don't technically own the rights to Spider-Man anymore.
Right. They may keep Spider-Man dead.
You know, they don't really need Bucky.
Yeah.
So it was like, that's another thing I liked is how they kept head faking the smart Avengers fans, the smart Marvel fans.
Yeah, because everybody's like, Iron Man and Cap's going to get it.
And they're going to
get it.
Think it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Not that I wasn't shocked when Tony took that shot to the chest.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, God, here's where it goes. Oh, I'm about to lose it now. Oh, God, I can't watch this. I'm going to cry.
Yeah.
And he was okay. So then when Cap runs up on Thanos, I'm like, oh, not only are they going to kill him, but they're going to do it in slow motion.
Right. But he just KO'd him real quick.
I'm perfectly fine with Vision going. That character meant nothing to me.
Nothing. He can be dead for... He can stay dead.
And even my wife, who doesn't watch those movies, when he got killed, she was like, I don't give a shit. So, yeah. You lose Gamora. You lose Vision. You lose Scarlet Witch. You lose Bucky. You lose... who else? Falcon. You lost
and
Star-Lord, Drax,
Groot,
Mantis,
Star-Lord,
Groot.
Mantis.
Boy, they love killing Groot, don't they?
Huh?
They love killing Groot, don't they?
Right.
And in the most heart-wrenching ways too.
Yeah,
in the first movie, the whole "We are Groot." You're like, damn it, Groot, don't do it.
Groot, man.
And then this one,
when he started fading away, when Rocket was looking at him, I'm just like, oh no,
that's sad. I am Groot. Like, it's like, oh God. But the one that took the cake.
Oh, you already know.
Spider-Man.
I don't feel so good.
You're all right.
I don't know what's happening. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Sir, please. Please, I don't want to go. I don't want to go.
I don't want to go, Mr. Stark. I don't want to go. I don't want to go.
I cried thug tears, is what I'm saying.
Man, I did.
Oh my God. I looked over at my wife and she was watering up. Like, I was like, oh, see, there you go. Like, this movie's got people right now.
Yeah.
If my wife, who doesn't give a shit about these, actually was like, no, Spider-Man, don't go.
Because you got to think about it, man. Spider-Man
is a kid.
Is still a child.
He's 16 years old.
Yeah. Like, so that in itself, you're like, wait a minute. And then you're thinking, and I think for the future of the MCU, because of course, people are like, how's Tony going to get back from Titan? I'm like, he's Tony Stark.
Right.
He's got Nebula there with him. He's got a ship. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure he'll figure out how to make a damn ship to get back to Earth.
Nebula knows how to pilot a ship.
Yeah.
We've seen that in the Guardians.
He made his Iron Man suit in a cave.
Right.
I think he'll figure it out. But I'm thinking like, oh man, what if Aunt May didn't disappear?
And he's got to go tell her.
He's got to go tell Aunt May.
Yep.
Like, oh, that's going to be heart-wrenching.
Yeah. Yeah. What if he gets back and Pepper's gone?
Oh, man. Yeah, because you don't even know who else is gone.
You don't know who else is gone. Pepper could be gone. Happy could be gone. Both of them could be gone.
Both, yeah. You know what? I think it would make for a much better movie if they were.
I do too.
Because this is what I'm thinking will probably end up happening. He'll sacrifice himself to bring them back.
Absolutely. I believe that 100%.
Yeah.
I believe that we're setting up for both Cap and Iron Man
to actually, because what they have to do is they have to, when Iron Man comes back, he has to figure out, okay, who's still who's still here,
Right.
because he doesn't know who's gone and who's not. So he'll have to get in touch with Cap, and they'll have to reconcile some sort of way,
Mm-hmm.
and that will get them to be able to end up being, the first two Avengers technically, and the first two to, well, not the first two, because technically Quicksilver did that, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, he's got to. They're gonna have to give up their lives for the rest of.
Yeah, I think you'll see Cap go down in battle, but I think you're gonna see Tony make the sacrifice.
Yeah.
I mean, they lost Doctor Strange. Wong made it a point to say nobody's protecting the Sanctum. What if Wong's gone?
Right.
I think it would make for some pretty fun scenes, if you want to call it that, for Tony to come back and realize that, Pepper's gone or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Have to explain to Aunt May that Peter's gone,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I mean, to me, some of the best parts of that movie was also like, the parts that they wanted to get you with. They just did it in such an awesome way. When Thor arrives in Wakanda.
Oh yeah.
The theater I was in lost
Yeah, we
their
all
fucking
were like,
mind.
yeah, we were in it.
When he puts the axe into Thanos' chest, right?
Yeah.
And he pushes it in there.
Yeah.
People in the theater applauded.
Yeah.
But because
yeah.
I read the book, I said,
I was like,
oh no.
Wait a minute.
I know what's
Nope.
going to happen. There's no reason to have a part 2 unless Thanos wins.
Yeah.
So when he said the line, you should have went for the head. I was like, oh, that's badass.
No, what are you? No.
Snap.
Like, yep. And
Yeah.
I thought that it was going to be, because I couldn't remember in the books if when he did the snap, did everybody disappear and then they were just like in a different reality?
No.
Or,
in the book, it's not even like they really took liberties from the book in that the snap didn't happen in battle. He got all the stones and he he's talking about everything he's going to do to impress Death, and he's trying to get her attention, and she doesn't want to give him the attention. And finally, I think it's Mephisto. It was either Mephisto or it was Ebony Maw who looks at him and just basically is like, what are you fucking waiting for? Like, you got, do it. Like, why are you talking? Do it.
Don't
And
be
he's
a
like,
bitch about it.
oh yeah, I guess I can do it. And he just kind of walks to the front of this reality that he created for Death. And he just kind of looks out into space and then you hear of everybody disappearing. Like, in the comic book, they're like, we lost Wolverine. We don't know where, God, who else? It was like, we lost Wolverine. We lost Hawkeye. We lost, they're naming off all these people that are gone. And then Adam Warlock and everybody go to fight Thanos. And you find out that, kind of like what Doctor Strange was saying when he was like, this is the only way, that Warlock sent all the heroes to fight Thanos as a distraction. He didn't expect them to win. He just kind of did it to kind of further what he was trying to get done to win the battle overall. I'm curious to see if we're going to find out if there's an Adam Warlock in the MCU next movie.
Well, he is.
He is. They alluded to it at the end of Guardians 2. But where is he? And who's playing him?
That I don't know who's playing him, but they did introduce him at the end of Guardians. So he does exist.
Right.
But we'll see what they're going to do with him.
And when I heard he was cast in Infinity War, I assumed that Peter Dinklage was going to be playing Puck. Apparently he's not.
Yeah.
What I like,
he's a giant little man.
He's a dwarf, but he happens to be a giant dwarf.
Yeah, he's a giant dwarf.
Right.
Which was like, wait, how? Okay.
My wife goes, "Is that Peter Dinklage?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Now that's funny."
Yeah. I thought that was pretty funny. There was so many moments in the movie, man. I loved the side quests. I loved the interaction between Rocket and Thor.
Yes.
He kept calling him Rabbit.
Yeah. I love the interaction between Star-Lord and Thor.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
Where he was intimidated by him and was trying I just thought that was great.
His voice.
I really liked the interaction between Doctor Strange and Tony Stark.
Oh yeah.
He called him a douchebag. I was like,
yeah. I mean, it was really good. They kind of put all of the right personalities together.
Yeah.
They were all very similar, but they had their different tweaks. So having Star-Lord, Iron Man, and Doctor Strange together, and then having Spider-Man and Drax together, you know, they're both kind of quipping and being silly.
And they gave Batista some of the best sneaky funny lines in the movie.
Oh yeah.
When he said he's like a cross between an angel and a pirate.
This is not a what do you say? This is not a guy. This is a man.
Muscular.
It's like a cross between an angel and a pirate.
And then his whole bit when he's watching Gamora and Star-Lord.
Oh yeah.
Like, how long you been standing there? He's like,
there?
An hour.
I found a way to
make myself invisible.
Remain so still that I become invisible to the
Watch. And then he's slowly moving the chili. No, we can see you.
We can see you. Damn it.
I'm certain you can't see me right now. Hi, Drax. Damn it.
Yeah, that was funny.
Oh,
and I thought, oh man, seeing Cap and Black Panther running side by side.
That was dope.
To get to the
Yep.
Oh man, that was fucking awesome.
Just I
was wondering why Bucky wasn't up there with him, but because he's a super soldier.
Technically a super soldier. He should be able to run like that.
Yeah. But he just kept shooting. I'm like, dude, why are you shooting people? You have a vibranium arm.
Yeah. Like, go out there and start putting that arm through people.
Yeah.
Go up the ass, out the mouth. I mean, Jesus. If I had an arm like that, that's all I'd do to people.
That's all I do. I'd be Shinsuke Nakamura all day.
Yeah. So, obviously, we enjoyed the movie very much so.
We did.
And I thought it was... and I was disappointed in the movie theater, the few people that stuck around to watch the post-credits scene, that I seemed to be the only person who knew that was the Captain Marvel symbol.
Oh, yeah.
That popped up on the pager.
Yeah, they're like, what's that? I'm like, are you serious?
It popped up on the pager and it went off, and I went, oh!
That's how they're going to get back.
What the hell was
What's that? Yeah.
So I look over at my wife and I go, oh, that's Captain Marvel. She goes, who the fuck is Captain Marvel? I'm like, you wouldn't understand.
It's the Kree Skrull.
Carol Danvers. Carol Danvers is Captain Marvel, and she. Never mind.
It starts with Captain Marvel,
right? And then he got cancer and he died.
Died. So he gave his powers to a woman,
right? she got locked in a Kree machine, and you know the Kree Ronan. You remember Ronan from Guardians of the Galaxy? He's a Kree, and you know what? Just, it's cool. It's cool.
Forget it. I just want them to bring the Skrulls in.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe they'll wait.
Well, they have to at this point.
They'll wait until they can finally do a Fantastic Four movie.
Mm-hmm.
Do it right.
Yeah.
I need a real Doctor Doom.
Like, I need a real one that destroys half of the fucking world too.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Part of me was kind of hoping that something like that would pop up in this movie.
Yeah,
like a character that you had no idea was gonna pop up. You know, like in a post-credit scene, all of a sudden you'd see like fucking Deadpool pop up or something like that. You know?
Yeah, that would have been cool.
But I was, dude. The movie was phenomenal. I loved it.
Yeah.
I actually said to my wife later that night, I kind of want to go see the movie again.
I've watched it like 2.5 times.
Yeah.
There's a great bootleg of it online too now. So
really,
I just watch it online.
Nice. You have to share that with me, sir.
Yeah, I'll shoot you the link. You know, I mean, I'm not an advocate for bootlegs or anything.
No,
but,
we don't.
You know, because I work in the business, man. I understand.
You know,
but this movie, I already shut up and gave them my money, so
That's
I
right.
can watch it again if I want to.
All right, so we got done, you know, busting our respective loads over the Avengers.
That's right.
If you'd like to follow us on YouTube, YouTube, son of a bitch.
YouTube.
If you'd like to follow us on Twitter, please do so at WNA Podcast. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter, please do so at that Rob guy. That's Rob with 2 B's. If you'd like to follow Cliff on Twitter, you can do so at
Cliff does it all.
Wow. I was expecting something big because of the delay, but no, that was not to be.
Yeah, I just wanted to pause for dramatic effect since you always try to speed through this part. At
Thanks.
Cliff, CLIFF, that's 2 F's, does, DOESITALL.
Wow. If you'd like to buy a shirt, you can do so at stayred.spreadshirt.com, and that is stayred, REDD, because that stands for
Double the D,
yeah.
twice as much D.
Find us on YouTube and subscribe there. Find us on Facebook if you can. Please go to iTunes, leave us a review, 5 stars if possible, if you'd like the show. I'd also like to give some shout outs. We haven't done it in a long time. Do our PWO brothers, the Brocast, Smart Spot, the Gimmick Table, Wretched Wrestling, and Boar Meets World, soon to be unveiling their show Monday Night Boar, in which they are going to watch every episode of Raw and Nitro and give their thoughts.
Wow.
That's a commitment right there.
That's a lot.
Also, find us on YouTube and find the hashtag Castaways. We are a proud member of the Castaways. Home Video Hustle, the Besotted Geek Podcast, What Were They Thinking, Cult 45, Everything I Learned from Movies, Sci-Fi Double Feature Drive-In, High Expectations, Nerdy Bitches, The Superiority Complex. I can't remember every single one of them because there's like 45 people in the Castaways.
There's so many in that group.
So please find us on Twitter, look for that hashtag Castaways, and support our friends. Please, they're all great podcasts. You are going to find they are well worth your time to listen and check them out. But I'm getting ready to sign off because I'm getting ready for a vacation. As I said, we are going to attempt to have a show come out next week, even though I won't be here. We may be recording another episode, maybe not tonight, maybe tomorrow. But if you do not get a delivery from WNA in your subscription to our podcast next week, do not fret. We will be back in 2 weeks. But we do have a plan. If we do come out with an episode next week, we got maybe an entire watch along episode we might do. So please, please check it out if it does drop. But yes, during the week that I will be out, there will probably be limited Twitter activity. That's why. Don't unfollow. We still love you. Cliff?
What up, though?
I think it's about time to go home.
Well, if that's the case, I'm Clifford L. Johnson.
Hey, he's Clifford L. Johnson. You know what my name is?
What's your name?
My name's Robb English.
Oh, yeah? And
Yeah.
what do you have to say?
I'm saying to you, when life hands you adversity,
What do you do when life hands you adversity?
well, when life hands you adversity, you always kick out.
Kick out at what?
Two.
Sweet.
Thanos demands your silence.
Shh.
I don't want to go, Mr. Stark.
I don't want to go. I don't want to go, Mr. English.
I don't feel so good.
I don't feel so good. I don't want to go.
Fire